why I was standing here. That way I could. I said that's why I was standing here. That way I could push the button precisely at 7:30. Precision. Thumbnail. Good job, Cameron.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Labor Day.
Yeah, and I'm going to work.
Yeah, I'm not.
Well,
I'm going to stay here and work.
so you are in fact going to work.
I will be working.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah, man, I'm just gonna totally non sequitur. But you ever just have like the most intense dreams and like you remember every vivid detail
Yep.
and but you have to ask yourself like, holy shit, how much of my psychological baggage was trying to get unpacked there? Okay. We figured out how to perfectly snap zoom our cameras at my ex-wife's new house.
Oh.
Yes. Which is crazy because she wouldn't have a new house. She's got like the old family property. There's no reason for her to have a new house, but that was the dream. Oh. Anyhow.
Steve says he's going to work. He starts at the winery today. Cool.
Yeah, good for you, brother. Good for you.
And hopefully he starts at the winery every day late enough to watch the show first.
Well, I mean, it could just be like, because as I understand it, this is harvest season. He might just be fuck all busy until
the end of harvest season.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which would I would assume is somewhere around the beginning of December, given the fact that harvest season started in September, so probably done the end of October.
Something like that. Danny says, Steve, make sure you wash your feet before you stomp them grapes.
Anyhow, so let's say good morning to some people and all that stuff, and then get right into it.
Imagine you need the cursor for that.
Get right into it. Pit Danny was first, and then Sean Stryker, and then Steve took a break from whining to say hello. And then Patrick Brown, Patro Ramirez, Willow Bar. Let's see. Other Steve, Crackshot. And I think that's everybody that's currently in the chat. So, good God, brother. Hashtag Pedo Hitler, huh?
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean,
Do we want to start with the articles, or do we want to start? Let's start with the images.
well, I divided everything up just to.
Let's start with these.
Oh no, skip that one.
With these images.
Oh, definitely skip that one. I just.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah, we can start there. I think the rest of them are safe.
You know what? Actually, I want to start with. Okay, we'll start with this one. No. We're going to start with. And there's an important reason I want to start with this one rather than the others. This image right here. Okay, so normally on Meme More Monday we deal with memes, and we will be, but I want to start with this one first. And because there's something especially interesting, especially telling, and I'll say it, alarming about this particular image. And do you know what that might be?
The fact that there are Marines in it.
That's alarming, yes.
The fact that Joe Biden's in it.
That's also alarming.
I could do this all day, buddy. You might as well.
This right here is not a meme. This is not a photoshopped image. This is a photograph.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned
this actually happened.
I listened to the speech on the radio because I was at work, and it was like, oh man, golly, he's a piece of shit, huh? The MAGA Americans represented. It's not normal. It's a threat to democracy, and yeah.
Yeah,
and then when I started seeing the images later, I honestly thought it was like, oh, that Babylon Bee. Oh, wait, that's not the bee?
That's not the bee.
Oh.
It looks like, here's your shot from V for Vendetta, right?
I mean, I think...
How's about a little commie poo?
Scott Adams said that if a certain percentage of people watch your speech and get confused and think they're looking at a satanic ritual, your optics guys need to be fired.
I might give that a little pushback and say if that percentage is any.
Well, I mean, you can't account. I mean, I'm willing to allow all the way up to about a 3% crazy threshold because there are some people you just can't.
Okay, and in fairness, we might be able to let that threshold push a little higher because the speech was targeted to a certain intellectual demographic. Biden voters.
Look, I don't think it was just targeted at Biden voters. I also think everything about it was a slap in the face to people like you and I. Like, absolutely. Like, they're like, oh God, please do another January 6th. Please do another January 6th. Please do another Not that one.
Nope, not that one.
Okay, we can start there. And then let's have some beams.
Because, I mean, if your color palette, if your color palette in your presidential image directory allows for this to look this convincing out of Photoshop, like this was not a hard Photoshop to do. And it looks uncomfortably believable.
Yes. Well, they all do.
And I mean, there's not much done here. They dropped in the statue of Satan behind him. That's it. Steve says we have a flag behind us. Biden didn't. Right. Deep state meltdown, Jerry.
You know what's really interesting, though, about this image is if you look at the wider shot, it doesn't look that bad. There's other colors and stuff. But nonetheless, like, again, I'm going to stress, like, Chris and I have made a few movies. Even an amateur understands, like, when you set up a camera angle a certain way, you're going to get certain things as a result. And I can't help but look at that and go, shit, none of that was an accident.
Right.
Like, and then this one's just fortuitous God beams versus...
Yeah. Nope, Palpatine. Nothing surprising at all. I mean, there's a little bit of trouble with the historical accuracy here because Palpatine simply wasn't that old.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, it's right there in your face.
I don't see a teepee for my bunghole gag in here, but okay, there you go. Shapiro, this image is the worst piece of presidential optics I have ever seen. Let's count the reasons. And yeah, I mean, all set in red, all that. I showed you the shots from V for Vendetta and the shot of I almost said Chairman Mao. I might as well have been Chairman Mao. It's the current guy, the Winnie the Pooh guy.
Xi Jinping.
Xi Jinping. Right. Yep, there it is. And finally, reason we're here today.
Oh, hashtag Pedo Hitler. Hashtag find us on Rumble.
We are there. We are there. And we will be for the week after we're thrown off for this.
And look, just so the YouTube algorithms are clear, we are not the ones saying hashtag Pedo Hitler.
No, it was trending.
That's what trended almost immediately. Like, we've talked before about how one of the biggest differences between the memetics of the right and the memetics of the left is that when the right memes, it's truly a grassroots organization. The ideas coalesce into a specific part of the zeitgeist. And so that things are quickly and easily communicated among people that are not brainwashed leftists. So, kind of to Scott Adams' point, if a significant portion of the people that watch your speech think, wow, did I just watch a satanic ritual? Well, if a significant portion of the people that watch your speech immediately start a hashtag Pedo Hitler, again, you've probably done something wrong. I mean, just ask Ashley Biden.
And if you haven't actually watched the speech, I'll save you some time. He actually doesn't say anything for like 15 minutes. And then he says, all Republicans hate you. And
no, he
evil,
very specifically says not all Republicans.
He starts to. And then he makes it very clear that he's talking about the controlling interest of the party.
So Danny says, she basically says, be careful with the it's already on YouTube argument, because that went effing nowhere for them. Yeah, we know. We know, but it's just too good. It's right there. It trended even on the Twitter and whatever. Like it's...
Yep. But, so I've got two articles that I want to look at with you guys. This first one, in part because it's got a little local flavor in it. You know that local flavor?
What?
That black girl magic.
To be on the bottom?
To be on the bottom, that black girl magic. Top Biden official says anti-MAGA speech's optimism calls out to all of us, regardless of party. I see words of encouragement. I see optimism, Bottom said of the president's recent speech. If you got words of encouragement and optimism from that speech, it's because you are someone who personally endorsed and funded the BLM Summer of Love. Oh, that's right. This was said by Keisha Lance Bottoms.
Well, she has no choice, man. She has, like, you ever, I read an account from one of the German guards that said, even though they knew Germany was going to lose the war, they continued to do the work at the concentration camp, praying they could get it done fast enough for there to be no witnesses. I kind of think if you're in the Biden admin now, you're like, oh yeah, he's great. 25th Amendment, he's great. 25th Amendment, he's great. I love working for Biden.
Every speech about Biden is just a hostage video. So White House senior advisor Keisha Lance Bottoms argued that President Biden's recent speech to the nation condemning MAGA Republicans was one of optimism that spoke to all Americans regardless of their political party.
Those are definitely words, and they definitely have a meaning.
It's an unintelligible statement. Condemning MAGA Republicans was one of optimism that, oh my God, What I see in this speech, I see words of encouragement. I see optimism. I see a commander-in-chief who is calling out to all of us, no matter our political affiliation. Bottoms, the former mayor of Atlanta, said Sunday during an appearance on ABC's This Week. All of us? He wasn't calling out to the MAGA supporters, certainly. He mentioned them more than a dozen times as a threat to democracy.
Martha Raddatz pushed back?
Wow. Critics have lambasted Biden for what they say was an angry speech where the president repeatedly took aim at the millions of Americans who voted for former President Donald Trump in 2020. The set of the speech was also ridiculed for featuring a blood red background that was characterized as hellish. Honestly, hellish is not the word that I would have chosen to characterize that. The words that I would choose to characterize that blood red background like it is. And God, if you see it, he walks up on the, let me rephrase. He's walked up onto the stage.
I think the word is
he
daughter.
Shuffles up to the podium.
There was shuffles is good.
He puts his hands on the podium, and then they turn on the blood red light. Like he walks up onto a dark stage, and you know, you've got this whole, oh, okay, this is going to be stupid and Biden-y. And then, it's Scar. We're here to kill your Mufasas.
Be prepared. You know, one thing I did notice about his speech, I feel like they got the correct mixture of steroids and meth. Because he managed, apart from the beginning of the speech where he was like clearing his throat, apart from that, he mostly made it through the speech without any major gaffes or word mumbles or
Oh, he managed that partly by just talking real. Oh. But, well,
look, I mean, okay.
Mayor Black Girl Magic argued during the Sunday interview that the MAGA agenda is about distorting the truth. Is that right? BGM. Is that right? The MAGA agenda is about distorting the truth. You're defending Joe Biden. You're defending the Democrat Party and the Democrat agenda. You're defending the Steele dossier. Total fabrication funded by political money through the Hillary Clinton campaign. You're defending the Russiagate investigation. Prosecuted and perpetrated through the use of, not theoretically, not hypothetically, through the use of proved false FISA warrants, through the use of direct lying to the FISA court in order to secure those warrants. You're talking about the party that raided Mar-a-Lago on a warrant written by a judge who has clear retaliation in his heart based on having been a servant of Epstein previously. You're talking about the party of suppression of the Biden laptop. You're talking about the party that sent FBI to harass journalists in order to suppress Ashley Biden's journal.
Biden's diary, yeah.
To suppress her diary that clearly shows her writing about her father molesting her.
Well, he was helping her shower.
Yeah.
She couldn't reach back there. God, I can't believe I said that sentence out loud with a straight face.
You know, I've washed my daughters.
Yeah, when they were
babies. They were in diapers.
Yeah.
I do not shower with my 9-year-old or my 12-year-old.
Yeah, basically the line is once they come out of diapers, that's the line.
And I don't shower with them. You put them in a bathtub and wash them.
Maybe hose them off.
This might help. You know, okay, maybe you take your shirt off so you don't get that wet, but wear pants. Wear shorts, trunks.
Something.
Right?
Oh.
You don't need meat and potatoes in the baby soup, Joe.
Speaking of things that might be fake, dude, are you trying? And this is from the Washington Post. Yeah, you know the photograph of like all the documents spread out on the ground.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Are you tracking
that most of those? Just put those cover sheets here.
Let me finish. You tracking that those those folders are empty?
Didn't I mention that?
No, that's why I was trying to nudge you while you were talking about the Mar-a-Lago raid.
Oh yeah. Oh shit. Yeah. Oh god. I thought we talked about that. I thought we talked about that when I had it pulled up the other day. Like in the image,
Well, we talked about how fake and staged it could be, and there were people in the comments that were like, gosh, those look awful thin to be full of top secret documents.
Yeah, that was one of my I mean, look at that. There's nothing in those folders. They're just manila folders with I mean, honestly, I want to say fake. Those look like those look like the right official covers, but those are empty folders. They're super thin.
Yeah, how hard would it be for us to...
Personally, I haven't dealt with a whole lot of top secret manila folders that weren't thick reams of paper. That's a government playbook thing. You know, your top secret report is we figured out that Xi Jinping likes to have jalapeno flavored Lay's potato chips with breakfast every morning, and that's the piece of intelligence. That's a ream of paper. Yeah. The report on that is a ream.
Yeah. How hard would it be to print those on that printer right over there?
I could do it right now.
Let's not. That'd be loud, but I mean, that's the... Okay, and then just one other thing.
Just staging that image right here in the floor in studio. I mean, there's a stack of manila folders right there. There's a pack of paper clips right there.
Right.
I have it done in 5 minutes or less.
Right. So, just one other thing, just going back to the Biden speech, one of the things that really stuck out to me, we've talked before about how if you're going to say things like, oh, these people are an existential threat to our democracy. Like, for example, when you invoke Hitler, you are invoking a very specific thing. When you invoke fascism, you're invoking a very specific thing and all that. If you really thought you had the opportunity to kill somebody that was going to destroy your entire country and put 167-ish million women into lifelong bondage, not only would you feel okay with killing that person, you'd be morally obligated to. Like the guy that tried to shoot up the baseball game. Like the guy that was going to kill Brett Kavanaugh, for example.
Well, and that's something I wanted to get to, too.
So, but here's the thing. While I think it's very, very, very clear that Obama's trying to... not Obama. Well, maybe I do mean Obama. Freud was right. Okay. Well, Biden's trying to incite the left.
Sometimes a cigar is just a cigar.
Yeah, and other times it's a big brown dick. Right, exactly. But it's not just trying to incite the left when you use that kind of language. There's also things that are a specific poke in the eye of the right. Like, MAGA Republicans don't respect the Constitution. If you don't know the first thing about MAGA Republicans, it's possible to believe that. But one of the things that your average MAGA Republican is extremely hung the fuck up on is the Constitution.
Right.
Like, good grief, no, give me my free speech, give me my guns, and by the way, lock down that damn border, and by the way, get the government the hell out of my life, okay? Like, for real, you do you all the way over there. I'm going to do me. And as long as I don't hurt anybody, you have no business getting involved in my life. Even what happened on January 6th happened because there were MAGA types that genuinely believed that it was possible that the Constitution was actually not being followed. That was not an effort to subvert the Constitution. That was an effort to uphold the Constitution. They were terrified we were in the middle of a constitutional crisis. So to say that, oh, they don't respect the rule of law or the Constitution or whatever. No. Good God, no. So everything about that was designed to incite and inflame.
And again, this is coming from not just the same party as that Eli Mistall guy who says the Constitution is basically trash. That's not a paraphrase, by the way. He said the Constitution is basically trash. Or the party of Barack Obama, who said that he hates the Constitution because it gets in the way of government doing what government should do.
Which is what the Constitution was designed to do.
The party of Joe Biden, who has literally said the Second Amendment is not absolute and never was meant to be. Okay, the Democrat Party has actively campaigned in living memory, we're talking about in the last 10 to 15 years, has actively campaigned not to amend the Constitution to change the way some of the amendments that they don't like work, but to outright abolish the document in its entirety. Right? That's who we're talking about. And then to your point about certain imagery related to the world, the one big war. Godwin's law is that an internet argument will eventually, almost immediately, devolve into arguing about Hitler. And I've often said that making the Hitlerian comparison is lazy. It's intellectually lazy. Because for one, there are so many much worse characters to compare people to. But we're not comparing Joe Biden to Hitler. We're not drawing the parallel between the Biden administration and the German Nazi Party of World War II. We are not making that comparison here. Joe Biden is. The Biden administration is making that comparison. The Biden administration is drawing that parallel. And in a speech where he identified a group of people by their ethnic, racial, national origin, and philosophical composition to be targeted for the use of force and violence for political means.
He did everything but say we were dirty and diseased.
He did everything but say we were dirty and diseased and step into my shower.
Yeah, but we're the ones like.
And there's another important German history comparison to be made here, and because if you look at Joe Biden in this image, right, he looks like he just opened the Ark of the Covenant.
I mean, that's, yeah.
Because he's old.
I get it.
Okay.
No, he looks like he just drank from the wrong cup.
Yeah.
He chose
He does look a bit more like he chose. Joe Biden looks like he chose poorly, but the fact is, the Democrats chose poorly.
Willow Bar says Indiana Jones is not history. I'm gonna choose to decide that typo was on purpose, and you're being triple funny there, ma'am. That's my choice. That's my choice. But seriously, and I want to get to the rest of the memes, and we're gonna have to chew through it pretty quickly. But I mean, I just want to make this clear. Like, again, that might be top comment.
That's for
right
you,
there.
Steve.
Yeah, that's is the photoshopped image of him holding dildos released yet? No, but now that you've put it out there, I'm sure it will happen.
I'm sure it's on its way.
But I mean, I can't stress this enough. One of the things that Republicans, generally conservatives, your MAGA types, whatever, like the populist movement, the Make America Great Again movement, generally believes that adhering to the Constitution is a large part, if not the single most determinate factor in what has made the country great. To say that the MAGA types don't care about the Constitution is such a lie. Such an absolute lie. Like, that's not the kind of thing where you believe it on purpose. Like, you could, where you believe it on accident, rather. Like, you could think, for example, that, you know, there's all the memes about Republicans only care about rich people and Republicans only care about dumb rednecks and stuff like that. Those are things that you could believe, you know, in an incorrect, but in sort of an osmosisly absorbed sort of way, in good faith. But if you are Joe Biden and you are saying out loud MAGA types don't care about the Constitution. Like, you are lying, and you are lying in a dangerous way. Because, hey, when you signed up for the military, who'd you take the oath to?
The Constitution.
Oh!
Not to the country, not to the land, not to the people, not to the president, not to the government. The Constitution, and to nothing else.
So if there was a thing that was a threat to the Constitution...
The oath is, I will defend it from all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Huh. That's weird. It's almost like that was the exact lie that was chosen on purpose.
It's almost like if either of the two Marines standing behind him in that image had run up and choked him to death, they would literally be doing the job they signed up for.
Yeah, but Kingslayers don't tend to have a long lifespan. That's why there's not that many of them. True. Steve has got to go. Steve, go whine somewhere else and have a nice day.
Indeed.
Okay, let's try and end on some fun. Do that.
I suppose. This is cute. It's a little boomer tier. It's me, Ukrainian Flag profile. Anyway, here's the worst take you've ever seen.
I don't care if it's boomer tier.
No, I understand. It's
like okay. That's a boomer meme. So? Boomers had some good music, too. I'm not going to stop listening to Led Zeppelin just because it's what my dad listened to.
I'm not going to stop listening to Led Zeppelin just because a bunch of boomers completely fucked up my country.
I mean, basically, yes.
Yeah, I'm with you. But, the Ukrainian flag. Okay, if I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. And here's the truth of the matter. Ukraine-Russia conflict. There are no good guys. That is all. Men won't date me because I'm trans. If y'all seen any of these TikToks or shorts or YouTube videos or Twitter garbage where you've got some trans going on about you need to date me, you bigot. The only reason you won't date me is because you're transphobic. I'm like, okay, for one, I'm married, and for two, you're butt fugly and uninteresting. Honestly, that I'm not gay and not interested in you because you're the same sex that I am is pretty far down the list. Normally that would be number one with a bullet. My interest starts with, hey, physical attraction, right? But
yeah, Blair
wow,
White,
buddy,
you're not.
You're scaring my nuts up into my gut before we even get to that question.
You know what's really funny is the same My Body, My Choice crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, my body, my choice.
Unless I don't want to kiss a penis. Then
Correct.
Suddenly I'm a bigot. Oh, hey, they call you a cult for not... Now, what's funny is this could refer to MAGA generally, because we don't want to... Because we want to break the... Or could be... Dude, we're allowed to say that the vaccine's not terribly effective on YouTube now?
Oh, yeah.
You know what's really crazy about that one? I bet when this all comes out, it's going to be almost identical to the flu vaccine because, it's got a lot in common with the flu. Just saying. But the flu vaccine has a tendency to be roughly YouTube, between 40 and 70% effective every year. And I would not at all be surprised if in the final analysis, the coronavirus is roughly 40 to 70% effective.
Danny joins us
on YouTube.
On YouTube. You're such a... Yep, that's right.
That is awesome. You're such an ugly chick. The fact that you have balls isn't even the issue. Now that's
okay,
ugly.
So I was hammered.
Oh, come on, dude.
I was hammered in Augusta with a bunch of buddies back in college days, right? And they wanted to go to this. There was this girl that I'd been talking to, and she suggested that we all meet at this bar in downtown. Or I'm sorry, not Augusta, Athens, UGA, in downtown Athens. And I didn't think anything of it. I was like, okay, hell yeah, we'll go to this bar. The name of the bar was Bone Shakers. I didn't know it was a gay bar until we got there. And they were having tranny karaoke. And hell yeah, I like me some karaoke. We had a ball in there. And I sit down at the bar and try to order a drink, and this big tranny walks up and sits down next to me. Dude was my size. Sits down next to me and offers to buy me a drink. And I was absolutely blasted already at this point. And I looked at him and went, you can buy me a drink, sweetheart, but you're a huge bitch. That was the end of that conversation. Good times. Government, we need more common sense gun laws. Also government, fuck your city.
Yeah, I mean...
Holy shit, Angie's with us.
That Angie?
That Angie.
Hi, Angie.
Good morning, Angie.
I might need a haircut.
I need a trim. Where you slinging scissors these days, Angie? Let us know. And I think that's the end of that meme thread. Do we have another one to hit?
Yes.
Oh. I was thinking about saving most of this for the. Okay, we'll go ahead and tag a couple of these. But I was probably going to save most of this for Woke Wednesday, so we'll call this a preview. I hate being catcalled. Now watch me shake that ass. Oh my God. We're not going to go into deep analysis on this because this is what we're going to talk about on Woke Wednesday, unless something even woker happens. Which, hey, Biden's America.
No, between the quains, rangs of power and this,
we has rangs.
We was quains. Yeah, between that's Woke Wednesday all day. Anyhow, let's.
Okay. Yep.
When somebody asks me why I don't trust, I mean, that's a good reason. That is a fantastic reason. That is memetics at its finest. Thank you, Austin
Indeed.
Peterson.
Indeed. That okay. That's solid. That's Ray.
Yep. That's I found that to be. I actually laughed out loud at that one.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. Oh, Angie says she's at Great Clips.
Same place. Yeah.
You gonna be there today?
Anyhow.
Yep. Okay, this is basically the same meme as this. This is a more effective version of that same meme. Trump's headed to prison. Trump said, "You are here."
Because he's not. And I don't typically disagree with Newt Gingrich, and there's not many of the old Republican guard that I agree with and still have a lot of respect for their opinions. But Newt Gingrich is one of them, and I'm not ashamed of that. His book To Renew America is one of the books that really opened my mind to, political philosophy. Kind of dry, but it was interesting.
Yeah, but I mean, like Newt. Okay, so he cheated on his wife a little bit. Kind of like Donald Trump. At least he didn't, diddle a bunch of children.
Well, look, but anyhow, I still look out for Newt and Newt's analysis. Newt thinks that the groundwork has been laid for them to indict Donald Trump. He sincerely believes that is coming. And this is one of those things I'm going to have to disagree with Newt on. I think if they were going to indict Donald Trump, first of all, why would you wait till after the midterms? Hey, I've got evidence of smoking guns, so I'm going to let you walk around for the next 90 days formulating a defense, buying off witnesses, to totally spoil the case, right? We're going to make our decision after the midterms. I think if they had anything that even half-assed looked like a smoking gun, they'd have already indicted Donald Trump, because they'd be able to ram it down our throats. Here's the evidence, here's the evidence, here's the evidence, here's the evidence. And the fact that they haven't done it yet, and they could have forced a schism. Now, granted, it could cause a backlash as well. Little boy who cried wolf. They've cried wolf so many times with Donald Trump. There could actually be a wolf, and people are going to go, yeah, no, you fuckers are lying. And then you wake up the next morning and all the sheep are dead. That's possible. Not likely, but possible. But if they had it, they could have forced a schism in the Republican Party. They could have embarrassed everybody. They could have given the Democrats a... Picture the difference in Biden's speech if he actually had an indictment to point to? How much more authenticity would it have?
That's a solid point. I'll give you a little bit of pushback though. The fact is, you can indict a ham sandwich. You don't actually need any evidence to do it. In theory, you're supposed to base the indictment on evidence, but that doesn't really mean anything functionally. You can convene a grand jury and they can indict. Just remember, an indictment is not a conviction. It's not the same creature, but it does have powerful political optics. And let's say the Dems do have some kind of a smoking gun in their back pocket. I would be surprised to see them bring it out before we're creeping up on the general. It's going to be the October surprise in 2024. If they even have one, which I strongly doubt.
Well, by then, Trump's going to be a declared candidate. And
correct.
And if you indict a declared candidate, like, I hate all that. Stop with your whataboutisms about Hillary. No. I'm to the point now where I'm tired of hearing the word whataboutism. Okay? It's not a deflection to point out hypocrisy. Well, what about Hillary? Hillary deleted 33,000 fucking emails, and she was not the president. Oh,
right.
My bad. Getting excited. I'll stop.
But no, you make a very, very good point there. And then we'll wrap this up. The whole thing with the Mar-a-Lago raid. What Trump is accused of having done in the Mar-a-Lago raid is by orders of magnitude less severe than what Hillary was proved to have done with regard to the email situation.
Yeah, slap on the wrist.
Perjured herself in testimony regarding the email situation. Now, they're the same category of criminality, assuming that what Donald Trump did was even wrong, but the fact that he says he declassified, to understand the extent of the plenary authority of the president to declassify documentation, that he says he declassified it, that he currently claims to have declassified it, just about meets the bar of the president declassified these documents.
Well, Comey already gave us the standard. What if he didn't mean to do anything wrong? He just did something wrong.
Or what if he didn't understand that it was wrong?
Because let's be clear, Comey sure as shit said that Hillary was guilty. He just said she didn't have malice. So no reasonable prosecutor would bring charges.
Which was a lie.
And man, there are millions of people in jail right now going, yo, I had no malice of forethought, and here I am incarcerated. Right. What the fuck?
Yep. So yeah, the as far as the whataboutism goes, that's not a whataboutism. That's if you indict Donald Trump over what he is accused of with regard to those top secret documents and the like, then as the DOJ, you are engaged in the violation of the 14th Amendment guarantee of equal protection under the law. If you indict Donald Trump on those on that bullshit photograph, you must also indict Hillary Clinton immediately, or the fact becomes naked and apparent that there is no equal protection under the law no longer exists, and what we currently refer to as law enforcement is mere Stasi for the Democrat National Committee. Pit Daddy, 4 platforms at one time.
Anyhow, we're long as hell, and Labor Day for some of us is just Monday.
So y'all be safe out there. We love you, and we'll see you tomorrow.